Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.
Hi and welcome back to MMA Knit and Studio MMA, and we got two UFC fighters with us today. We got Jake Shields and we got former Strikeforce champion and Stefan Struve, who's about to fight not too soon, but it's coming up, right? How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. And the fight is coming up in 6 weeks, I believe, and I'm doing really well. My coach is with me here, and just keep on training here and preparing for the fight with Mark Hunt, May 26th, the heavyweight card. So.
Now you're fighting a guy who's a lot shorter than yourself. Most guys are shorter than you, but he's a lot shorter than you. He just fought a pretty tall guy though, and obviously did very well with him. How do you prepare for a guy who's a lot shorter than yourself, but with very, very heavy hands and good Muay Thai?
Well, you know, the fight before my last fight, I fought Pat Barry, and in my opinion, he's the same kind of fighter as Mark Hunt. You know, he's a great K1 fighter, great striker. He's got really fast hands, heavy hands, and I just gotta stay away from that. You know, use my footwork and my reach and my height to keep away from that. And in my opinion, I got a huge, you know. My ground game is way better than his, you know, huge advantage on the ground. So, yeah, I think, you know, this is my fight to win. So,
you think you'll take him down, do what you did with Pat Barry?
Oh, we'll see. I'm not worried to fight him on the feet either. You know, just use my reach well, and we'll see from there.
We actually did an interview with Pat Barry, and he said, I didn't realize how tall Stefan was until I lifted him up to slam him. And while he had the triangle locked up, his hand was still on the ground. and then he said he realized he was in trouble. Jake, you've been here for a couple of days now.
Yeah.
And have you had a chance to see Sweden yet?
Yeah, you know, I've been cruising all over Stockholm. It's a beautiful city. Haven't seen the nightlife yet. I've been a little tired, but I think I'm going to get a little rest in and check out the nightlife tonight.
Let's change that for sure. Make sure you get to see the city a little bit. Stockholm
yeah,
is
you're going to have to take me out and show me the nightlife here.
Oh, yeah. Stockholm is a beautiful city. And actually, Stefan, Holland isn't too far away. Have you ever had a chance to be in Sweden before?
No. This is the first time. I was in Finland for about 5 years ago for a fight. But this is the first time in Stockholm. So, you know, we're planning to see a little bit more of the city.
As you can see the arena behind you, that's the arena where people are going to be fighting on Saturday night. And it sits about 14,000 people, sold out in 3 hours of tickets. Fastest they ever sold out outside of the US. And 14,000 is not as many as people as you fought in front of before. Both of you been in front of bigger crowds than that. But a lot of, especially the Swedish fighters, are stepping into the octagon for the very first time. You've both been there. What's it like to step into the octagon for the very first time?
You know, it definitely can be nerve-wracking if you're not used to stepping in that many people. But ultimately, you know, you got to look at it as just the two of you in the cage, and you try to block the crowd out. You know, I was feeding big crowds. You know, I fought in the Canadian and the Toronto crowd, which was like 55,000, which was definitely, even though I've been a veteran, been around so long, that was still a little overwhelming. But you just have to kind of block that out and realize it's just the two of you in the cage.
Now, that was an away game, so to speak, for you. You're obviously in the home country of GSP when you fought him there. We were there at the fight, and 55,000 people. That's pretty loud. Now, the Swedish fighters they're fighting. You know, a lot of them are making the debut, and it's a lot of pressure. You know, about 90% of the crowd are going to be Swedish. What's it like? Is it an advantage, a disadvantage of fighting in front of your home crowd versus an away crowd, so to speak?
I think it can work either way. You know, I mean, obviously it's always good to have the whole crowd behind you. So I think it's a slight advantage, but it can be more pressure too, and everyone's going for you. When they're booing you, going against you, all the pressure's off you.
And when it comes to the judges, if it goes to decision, it's very easy for the judges to be influenced by the home crowd, though, right?
Yeah, because, you know, he hits you, they get the big old loud ooh yelling and stuff. You hit him, no, it's silent. So the judges definitely can see that. But depends on who the judges are. A good judge will really just watch and pay attention to what's really going on.
Now, Holland is, in many aspects, in many ways, the #1 country when it comes to mixed martial arts. Not mixed martial arts, but at least stand up for Europe. Yet we haven't seen a UFC in Holland, and it's a huge interest in at least K1. Obviously, you know, it was 1 year we had 8 finalists in the K1 from Holland. How soon do you think we can expect a UFC in Holland?
I got no idea when UFC's coming to Holland, but they're in Sweden now. You know, they've been in Germany, they've been in the UK, so they've been all around us, but not yet in Holland. So, you know, we're just waiting for the UFC to come. And what you said, we got a great background in martial arts. We had a lot of K1 champs, and we're slowly making that switch to MMA, and we got a lot of good guys coming up, you know. So, yeah, just looking forward for the UFC to pick a date and come to us, and I can perform in my own country. That'd be great.
Now, obviously, you have a lot of heavyweights over there with the stand-up, and Alistair Overeem, who was supposed to be facing Junior Dos Santos for the heavyweight title. One, do you train with him at all? Or two, what do you guys think? He actually has applied for a license, 2 fights, so he's still not decided if it's not going to happen or not. Do you guys think he will get a chance to fight for the title?
Yeah, I heard some rumors that he might get his license now, and yeah, you never know. You know, that's the thing with Facebook and Twitter. You know, it's just what people pick up, and media makes a story out of it. You know, you never know. Just let's wait and see what happens on April 24. Maybe he's got a really good excuse for it. You know, to have testosterone like that. And but you know, me and Alistair never train. He's in Miami now, I believe, too, with the Black Stallions. So you know, he was at a different team too. So we never got to train.
What do you think?
Yeah, you know, you have no idea. You know, you just don't know till you hear what his story is. So I try not to jump in and make opinions until until the case is heard. So it's you know, he's applying for a license, so he must have some reason that he thinks will get him through. So we'll see. It's unfortunate that happened because that was definitely a fight I was looking forward to. So we'll see. We'll see what happens now.
That would have been an amazing fight, or perhaps still might be an amazing fight. Let's talk about the fight card a little bit. We got Alexander Gustafsson. Pressure on his shoulders for sure. He's the poster boy for Swedish mixed martial arts, being the main event for the first time, and it's not a beginner that he's stepping in there with. Originally supposed to face Lil Nog, who got injured, and now he's facing Thiago Silva, which a lot of people feel is actually a tougher fight for him. What do you guys think?
I think they're both tough fights. It's a tough fight. You know, he's got good takedowns, good ground. It's a tough fight, but it's one of those ones that go either way. I think Alexander's got a good shot, though. It's going to be really exciting. But like you said, lots of pressure being, him being the face of Swedish mixed martial arts right here in the sold-out crowd. That's definitely, we're going to see how he deals with the pressure. This is a big step up for him. Yeah,
what Jake just said, it can go either way, with fighting for your home crowd. But I think Alex, has fought 5 or 6 times for the UFC now. He's been in some really big fights, so I don't think he'll be overwhelmed by support of his home crowd. I think that'll help him, and I think it's going to be an amazing fight. And Thiago's going to be out there yet, a long layoff, and he wants to prove himself again, and come back with a clear statement that he's still at the top of the division. So it's going to be really interesting.
And we had Jurgen Kroot, who's very well known in K1 and in Holland, and for a lot of the Dutch guys, top Dutch guys. I know myself, I was jealous not getting a chance to go in there and be there in front of the Swedish crowd for the first time. And Jurgen, I know, is devastated, not getting a chance to be in there fighting in front of his fans with a broken rib. Now, Cyril Diabat was supposed to have fought Jurgen, but had to switch to a grappler instead. He had about 3 weeks to get ready for the grappler instead. And how is it when you're in the middle of a training camp and then you have to switch all of a sudden to a completely different fight style? Well,
it's always, it sucks having to change, but for me, I always try to train for every aspect, so it's really not that big of a deal. We're mixed martial artists, so we kind of, it still does suck switching opponents, but really we're kind of prepared for everything always. At least I do in my camps. I'm not sure about.
Yeah, for sure. And Cyril is so good. He's good on the ground. He's good on the feet. So you can do it everywhere. You just what Jake says. It sucks that you have to change your mindset for your opponent. But if you got no ground game and you're gonna fight a grapple now, then that sucks. But I think Cyril will be okay. He's been around for a long time, so he'll manage himself.
And Jake, what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
Well, nothing's set for sure, but I'm looking at most likely an August return. That's what I asked UFC. Told them they wanted me to bulk up a little bit, so I'm trying to put a little weight on. So I told them I need a few months, and I'm hoping for August. So no opponent yet though.
They want you to bulk up because they want you to put in a bit more muscle. We're talking about switching weight class.
Well, yeah, I mentioned the 85s. Nothing's 100% confirmed, but that's definitely the rumor out there. And they asked if I wanted to give that a shot again, since I was, they thought I looked really good at 85s. I went undefeated out there, had some really big wins there, and UFC was wonderful. I want to try that again. So right now I'm lifting a little weight, seeing how my weight goes. In the next couple of weeks, I'm obviously gonna have to make it a sure decision one way or another.
Maybe we should try some of the Swedish candy. It's really good. It might help you put on some weight.
I've been eating a lot, but I need to gain the right weight. I think I'm just getting fat.
So when you switch, you've gone from 85 to 70, back up to 85. How hard is it for you to switch weight?
It's pretty tough, you know, especially the first fight, because you know you bulk up. You got to make sure you don't want to put just weight on. You got to make sure it's the right weight, like it's muscle, and you're moving fast, and it doesn't hurt your conditioning. And then going down, it's the same. You got to take the weight off without cutting too much water. So it's kind of a pain. That's why, you know, I'll make the decision soon.
Last question for both of you. Main event Saturday night. Any predictions?
Man, it's a really tough fight to call, but I'm going to go with Alex. You know, I've got a chance to train with him a little bit and down in San Diego. Yeah, I thought he was a really cool guy, really talented, and I'd like to see him pull out the fight.
Yeah, I think him fighting for his home crowd is gonna, in my opinion, give him the advantage, and I think he's gonna, you know, get the decision win.
You think it's gonna go to decision?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that they're both really good in the field, you know, and I think that's gonna neutralize each other, stand out a little bit, and I think he's gonna win the decision.
You heard it here from Jake Shields and Stefan Struve. Make sure you check them out when they're fighting next. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.